Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, AEW Dynamite comes to the Rocket City, better known as Huntsville. Dynamite had a Dynamite showing, as you see right here, the Don Callis family attacking Ken Omega and Will Ospreay. We'll get to that coming up, as well as strange bedfellows between Hangman Adam Page and MJF. What's going on with this? We'll talk about it. Plus, Double J being laid out. What's going on with Double J being laid out and stuff, and more. Women's champion Mariah May speaks up about what she's going to do to Toni Storm at their clash, Grand Slam Australia. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we talk about this. Triple H, the game, will be the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame for 2025. We get everything started for the Pro Wrestling Show, AEW Dynamite Ring Report. And it starts right now here on the Pro Wrestling Show.
Uno, dos, tres.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kenny Dix here. Glad you joined us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation. Use the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty for the Pro Wrestling Show right here, right now. We kick things off with the Don Callis family as Brian Cage taking on Will Ospreay. Brian Cage and Will Ospreay had a first-class showing tonight throughout their first matchup tonight. However, that went down and stuff. But Brian Cage taking it to Will Ospreay, but there were some shenanigans in between. Don Callis was on commentary, and Takesha and the rest of them came out there to salt the wound, and they did salt the wound tonight. Takesha and them doing what they're doing to get ahead and get advanced on what they need to do. But you see right here the beat down right here, the Don Callis family, known as Cage, Don Callis, Takesha, Kyle Fletcher, and Lance Hort taking down Kenny Omega and what's his name, Will Ospreay. We know that Will Ospreay and Omega will be teaming up against Takesha and Kyle Fletcher, and they did sending a message, and they sent that message clearly tonight, doing what they need to do, but they let both men, good guys, down. We'll see at Grand Slam Australia if Omega and Ospreay can get an upper hand advantage. We'll see on that. Also, too, the Double J Jeff Jarrett went against Cesaro. If Double J Jeff Jarrett won, he will be automatically get a shot at the AEW Championship in the near future. Just wasn't the case tonight for Double J. In the history that Double J is synonymous with Huntsville, down the south, down of Nashville, and Double J Jeff Jarrett won't be getting the opportunity to go for the championship tonight. But Cesaro made clear on that by taking down Double J Jeff Jarrett. Double J Jeff Jarrett even was down and out. And he woke up, was trying to get his senses back until MJF came out of nowhere and laid out the legend, the last outlaw. I think they're going to have a feud down the road. I don't know if it's going to be either Revolution or what. But MJF sending a message to Jeff Jarrett that he's the one that's going to determine his future if he would have stuck with him. But MJF also doing some strange bedfellows with Hangman Adam Page. Adam Page and MJF may not like each other, but they have to now agree upon agreeing upon. And that's the case right there to in case what's going on and how it's going to go for them. But you can tell right there on how they're going to go. Hangman Page and MJF going forward. So we'll see. Speaking of that, um, Powerhouse Hobbs sent a message to um Iron Heart. Powerhouse Hobbs will get his revenge and measure revenge down the road. How that's going to be for Powerhouse Hobbs? Saying he wasn't down to be in Huntsville, but maybe he did a pre-recording that he could be. But we'll see. Powerhouse Hobbs and what's next for Powerhouse Hobbs. We want to get his hands on Big Will of Chris Jericho's foundation. They could be building Powerhouse Hobbs as a future world champion in my book. Speaking of that, Shelton Benjamin and MVP Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Syndicate, are the new AEW Tag Team Champions, and they're crowned holding the people with the gold. Again, steps and steps to becoming champions, and they're looking for some gold, and they did. But the Hurt Business could be in line for a title opportunity down the line, defending their titles whenever and however they want to defend them. Looking at the Hurt Business, it could be the way to be. Who's going to stop them as the most dominant tag team ever put? Well, speaking of that, the Guns boys could be coming back saying Guns up. They did a vignette tonight. Guns could be coming their way to AEW sooner rather than later. The Gun boys will. Also, too, we see Edge, Cope, he like to call himself, an FTR, the Revival, sent the Death Riders out of town. Well, Jay White was there too. I think the rivalry between the Death Riders and them is coming full circle down the road, and how that's going to go down. But we could see that being that way for them to do what they need to do. And told you earlier about Takesha and Kyle Fletcher doing that damage and what they did tonight, and how they did it. You see, Jay White did so tonight by taking down Willa Yuta, knocking him down a tag or something. How that went down earlier tonight. So Jeff Jarrett and this is right here. Chris Jericho did his New York Minute. Chris Jericho, along with his group, the Learning Tree, and they're trying to. There's always some with Jericho in a group. Jericho putting himself in the group tonight, setting up something. Jericho has a new movie out as well. Chris Jericho setting the stage for his new movie. And how that's gonna go down for him, and how that's gonna be for him and stuff. So Jericho. We'll tell you a little bit later what Jericho had to say about the Hall of Fame coming up a little bit later on in Wrestling Hot Topics. But we'll talk about this as well. Triple H being inducted into the Hall of Fame a little bit later on in the show. Well, we continue on with our AEW coverage. Ricochet won his match over AR Fox. But Ricochet, it was a clause in the stipulation tonight that Swerve Strickland couldn't get involved in Ricochet's match, or he'll lose his match again, go against Ricochet in Atlanta next week. Well, Swerve did his best and did not intervene. Ricochet won to defeat AR Fox. But the thing was tonight, as you see right here, Ricochet getting caught by Swerve Strickland. The two will meet next week. Ricochet even had a scissors to try to threaten to stab AR Fox. I don't know why he did what he did. Ricochet playing possum. Ricochet, what's going on tonight? We know Ricochet will take on Swerve Strickland next week in Atlanta. Speaking of that, you see right here, um, as you see right here, um, you see right here, Mercedes Monet, the TBS champion, went against a jobber. I don't forgot the girl name, but she took down the jobber and retained her TBS championship. Mercedes Monet did so tonight, winning. I'm be surprised she ain't trying to go in the women's Royal Rumble, but maybe in 2028 she might do so. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. We know Tony Storm, she'll be have something to say. coming up in her upcoming match this Saturday on Collision. We'll see that as well. If they're gonna be head to head against the Royal Rumble. Damn, what's going on with that? But you see that. But Tony Storm and Mariah May will go 1-on-1 at Grand Slam for the title. Mariah May had something to say. She did say it. Was enough, but like Mariah May and say my name need to switch belts. It's just me personally saying that, but hey, who knows? All right, that ends your AEW ring report. Let's move over to wrestling hot topics. On wrestling hot topics, we just learned and found out that Triple H will headline this year's class of the 2025 Hall of Fame. Triple H had to in a meeting, a town meeting with WWE headquarters. Triple H gave himself the signal of him going to the Hall of Fame. And Triple H being embraced by HBK, The Undertaker, and his wife Stephanie McMahon on this endorsement. We'll probably get some intel coming up probably sometime down this week. SmackDown, hopefully on Triple H getting his nod for the Hall of Fame. So Triple H will be headlining the Hall of Fame coming up, heading towards Las Vegas, and Triple H will do so coming up. So congratulations, Triple H, former world champion, former WWE champion, former tag champion, Intercontinental. Triple H, a former Grand Slam champion, won all the championships available. A business executive. He took over from being the head of creative from Vince McMahon. Now Triple H now is going to Nick Khan, Triple H himself going to put him in the Hall of Fame. So Triple H goes into the class, and you got to wonder who's going to induct Triple H into the Hall of Fame. A lot of people who are worthy of inducting Triple H, you say Shawn Michaels, his wife Stephanie McMahon, The Rock, um, John Cena, The Undertaker. A lot of feuds with Undertaker, a lot of feuds with um, Shawn Michaels. I was suspect that Shawn Michaels will be the one to get the nod to induct Triple H into the Hall of Fame. So look for Shawn Michaels to induct Triple H into the 2025 Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Triple H. Speaking of that, Chris Jericho, who no longer who could be a Hall of Fame himself, who can forget his match against Triple H in 2002 at WrestleMania 18 when the championship was on line and Jericho lost the championship from Triple H. Chris Jericho said that he doesn't need the WWE Hall of Fame. He doesn't believe in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame doesn't do nothing for him, justify his ends of the means and stuff. Chris Jericho saying that tonight, and Jericho did a segment tonight on Dynamite saying what he wanted to say, but really didn't mean nothing. But hey, it is what it is with Jericho stuff going on with that. Well, that's gonna do it for the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long. Thanks for watching the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. We'll see you this week for Royal Rumble weekend. Like we said, we'll have Royal Rumble weekend with the Pro Wrestling Show starting from the SmackDown Ring Report to the Royal Rumble predict the outcome Saturday morning, and the Royal Rumble review Saturday night immediately after the Royal Rumble. So we're gonna have a lot of Royal Rumble shows coming up this weekend. So for me being Kendrick Dix, saying so long, thanks for watching. We're gonna leave you with Mercedes Monet retaining her TBS championship here on the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.